Hey, 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 it's Tia, baby, and I am back with another video. So, before I begin, I want to correct some information from the last video that I made about the three women that auditioned for Selena. So I found out from someone in the comment section, and I kind of already suspected her name was Melissa, because I think I said it in the other video, but I knew that one of the girls' name started with an M, but I didn't want to put it out there for as you know, for sure, because I wasn't sure if I was right or not. But someone in the comment section said that her name was Melissa. One of the girls' name was Melissa Sanchez, so it wasn't a Letitia Miller. That allegedly that's a rumor. Not what happened to one of the girls, but the name Letitia Miller was a rumor. The person that I did say in the video, Gloria de la Cruz, she was the one that was murdered, and she was the one that one of the ones that auditioned. But Melissa Sanchez is still alive and well, and I came across her Instagram. Someone forwarded me her Instagram. I saw her Instagram, and I also visited her YouTube page, channel. And in her younger days, she did look like Selena. Her body didn't fit her, but didn't resemble hers. But facial wise, she looked a great deal like Selena. But I guess she didn't have any acting skills that woo the production in order for them to pick her. I mean, obviously she didn't get picked. And then I was also told she was 15 and not 17, but that was probably her. I was talking about Danielle Camastra. That's the one that was 17 and came from Miami, I believe. Not Miami, but Florida, somewhere in Florida. And she had traveled to Miami, but she was so nervous, she didn't have any acting skills, so she didn't get the part. That's who I was referring to, which I did state in the other video. I just didn't talk about Melissa because I didn't know she existed for real. I knew it was an M, but I didn't know for sure. So when I looked it up, the three names that came up was Gloria, Letitia, and Danielle. But forgive me for that. I corrected. Thank you for correcting me on that. Before I go forward in the video, I want to first give congratulations to Selena. So everybody, clap your hands, dance, do whatever in celebration for Selena, because I saw on Instagram, I believe it's under the Selena, official Selena Instagram page, where Selena's number ones is back. The album is back, and the vinyl, and it reached the top 5 on the Latin album charts, according to the Billboard.com back in July. And for those millennials, I am a millennial, but I'm not the younger millennial. For those millennials that do not know what a vinyl is, it's like this big circle that is like a big gigantic version of a CD that's black, and that you put it on a record player. And I will have a picture of it, of what a record player looks like and a vinyl record looks like. But yeah, it reached the top 5 on the top Latin charts, album charts. And thanks to 8,000 album units earned in the week of July 9th. So that was the reason why it reached the top 5, because of 8,000 album units, I guess, earned or sold. And this was driven by the release of a limited edition vinyl picture edition of the greatest hits album of the album's 6,000 total sales for the week across all formats. And when I mean all formats, is the CD, vinyl, and digital download. So that's amazing. Now, I don't know verbatim exactly what that means because I don't talk music business talk. But she basically sold a lot of albums in all genres. And that's why her album is, her number ones is at the top 5. This is a re-release because she had one back in 2002. So, and back in October 2002. And the vinyl edition of the album accounted for 99% of its sales. The new 2 LP vinyl picture disc of the number ones released July 3rd. It released on July 3rd via Universal Music Latin Entertainment. So that's who it was released by. And this was a hot seller, which of course, why wouldn't it be? During the first week, it helped the album. I'm just making sure I don't mix up my words. So I'm reading, make sure I'm not mixing up my words. But it helps the album re-enter number 1. So because of its gigantic sales, it reached number 1. The re-release reached number 1 on the all genre vinyl album sales chart. And the number one's re-entry at number 1 marks the first time a Latin album has been number 1. So we all need to give a big congratulations and hand clap, all that above to Selena, because if it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for me and a lot of her fans that, you know, listen to her music, that download her music, that bought her music, it wouldn't be number 1. So yeah, we can't help but to, I mean, of course, her family had a lot to do with that as well. So, I mean, we have to give credit where it's due. So, congratulations to Selena and all of her work. And they, according to what I read, the reason why they re-released it was to commemorate the 25th anniversary. My allergies are acting up. 25th anniversary of Selena's death and celebration of life. So that's why they re-released it as well. So big ups to that. Now, I'm going to talk briefly about a little bit about what I was talking about in my other video. So I got a comment on my last video in reference to Abraham. So one person claims, it's a lot of people that say they friends with the Quintanillas, but they attack me like I'm the bad guy, like I'm saying something wrong. Obviously, and I said to this person, obviously you're curious because you came on my page and you watched. You could have strolled right past my page or strolled right past my video like nothing, like it was nothing. But obviously something told you to watch it. And she act like I said something bad about Abraham. I actually did not say anything bad about Abraham this time. It was basically a response video. No, it was a response video on the interview that he did talking about why he did not want Edward James Olmos to play him and why J-Lo wasn't his first choice. So I was just giving my opinion and responding to what he had to say. So she said, this person was like, your channel needs to be taken down because my family been friends with the Quintanillas even before AB was born, and what you're saying about, you're basically fabricating, talking about Abraham and all that. And I'm like, I never even said anything bad about Abraham in that video because she was responding to that video. And I just was like, What did I say anything bad about? All I did was respond to something he said. So how am I saying anything bad? Unless she's talking about other videos, which I didn't say anything bad. I was giving my opinion. That's not fabrication. Thoughts and opinions, that's called freedom of speech. And then the truth that I do put out is from research. It's from Chris' book. It's from the internet. So, and people that, follow Selena for a very long time. So, I mean, hey, so it's a crime that I, give my opinion about a person that you so-called say is your friend or your family of a friend. I mean, everybody has opinions, and I do feel like he was very much hard on her, and which brings me to my next point. The difference between what an abuser is. Now, I'm not going to say he was a physical abuser because I don't know anything about that. I don't think Abraham was physically abusive. I think some people said that in several comments in past videos that they claimed that he was physically abusive. I don't think he was. I'm not going to say he was. I mean, we don't know how people are behind closed doors. I don't know that family to be saying that he was physically abusive. He never, it never was in the limelight, so I'm not going to say that he was. But I do believe, in my opinion, that he was mentally abusive and emotionally abusive. And why I say that? Because based on Chris' book, yes, and even in the movie, the way he was presented in the movie, he was constantly screaming and yelling. But first, before I go into that, in my opinion, what emotional abuse is when someone toys around with your emotions for just the likes of it, and knowingly hurting your feelings. It's basically like bullying, and knowingly bullying and just continuing to do that, to toy around with your emotions. That's just, the layman terms. I don't know. I'm not good with the scientific term. That's just layman terms. And then mentally abusive is pretty much kind of the same thing. It's like it toys around with your mental state, like whatever that person has done or said to you repeatedly, that and it affects your mental state. You may become having self-esteem issues, depression, suicidal thoughts, stuff like, falls under depression and stuff like that. So that's all kind of tied together. So I feel as though, and this may be strong and this may be hard to believe to some people, but in my opinion, I do feel like Abraham was kind of, on the emotional / mental abuse side, because it's a thing called, it's not what you say, it's how you say things. Now, I understand he was a father, and he's a strict father, and fathers, parents, they try to look out for their kids. So they, try to give advice to help them along the way. But it's how you say things. Now, in the book, and even in the movie, you saw how he yells, the way he came off at her. He was very aggressive, not physically, but verbally aggressive. He, like I said, was yelling at her, in her face, telling her what he don't think she should do, and not supporting her ideas and her dreams of becoming a fashion designer and opening up boutiques, because he felt like it would have dried her out, which I understand that, but it was how he said it. And he saw how the pain on her face, he saw how it made her feel. She cried. I quote in the book, they had several arguments where he would just come over their house uninvited and yell at her about things that he didn't agree with what she was doing or planned to do, and in result, it made her cry to the point where she couldn't breathe. She fell to the ground, slid to the ground, and like sobbing and crying and shaking, to the point where Chris had to console her and was really worried about her mental state because of how Abraham came at her like that. So that to me is a sign of verbal and mental and emotional abuse, because you're knowingly hurting her feelings and hurting her and affecting her emotional state, and yet you still come off like that, still come off aggressive. Like, if you knowing that what you're saying or how you're saying things to her is affecting her in a negative light, then if you really cared about how she felt, then you would have turned it around and apologized and try to say it in a better way for her to understand and not get so bent out of shape about it. But he did not. He kept doing it over and over and over again, to the point where she wanted to stay away from him. So you can't fight the messenger for, observing what was read, what was said, what was shown in the movie, and all of that. You can't fight me on that. I'm just telling you how I see it. I'm not saying he was physically abusive. No, I think he was verbally, I think he was mentally, and I think he was emotionally abusive towards Selena and towards Chris. But the difference with Chris, I don't really think Chris cared too much how Abraham treated him, because he wasn't around for him. He was around for Selena, and he loved Selena so much that he just tolerated Abraham. But if it was up to him, he would have left a long time ago. If he and Selena wasn't together like that, and all that good stuff, he would have quit a long time ago, because he not gonna take too much shit with anybody discrediting him or talking shit about him and all of that, calling him a cancer to the family, a bum musician and all that. That's hateful words. Like, that's fighting words. Like, who are you to call me a cancer? Like, cancer is a deadly disease. Like, that's not something you should be calling anybody that. And the fact that he didn't care, and then that's why I said he's a mental abuser, because in the book it said, and because he was a manipulator, he said to Chris, I could tell Selena that you did this and that and the other, because I don't remember exactly what he said to Chris, but he basically said, I will tell Selena this and she will believe me. What? So like that, I'm saying, you're toying around with her mental state. You're toying around with her emotions. You're saying things that's not true to Selena, because you know that she can believe anything. So it's like that's not cool. You're toying around with people's mental state, emotions, and all of that, and manipulating people, and then making them feel less than, and you have no remorse about it. That's why I say that I feel like he's a emotional, verbal, and mental abuser. Now, does that still make him a bad person? I don't think that really makes him a bad. It's just he just needs some guidance. He just needs some help. We all need help. It's not too late. We all need help. We all have faults. We all have downfalls, and that's just a few of them. But that's what I thought about, and for that person, I blocked that person, because I feel like, whatever, that's your opinion. You feel that's how you feel, fine by me. But you're not going to threaten my channel and talking about it should be taken down because you don't agree with something that I said, when you could have just strolled past my video and not watch it at all. But something brought you here to watch, so something in you deep down may felt the same way. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for now. I know it's like you want more, but I'm really struggling to give you more. I'm still, like I said, and I'm gonna say it every time, I'm still waiting on that Netflix. I did read on somebody's Instagram that they said that the reason why there was a delay in the Netflix series was due to the COVID, due to the pandemic, because they was going to release it around her anniversary of her death, which I knew that because I stated that in one of my videos. I said, I bet they're going to bring it out sometime in March or April. But unfortunately, the pandemic came around, so they wasn't able to do that. I guess they wasn't able to finish production. I don't know. But that's just what I read. I don't know how true that is. But I don't know when they're coming back. I don't know when it's coming. Maybe later on in the year, or 2021, early 2020, or maybe they're going to try and wait until her 26th anniversary. So either March or April 2021. I'm just saying, in my opinion. I don't know. But that's what I'm waiting on to give commentary. But if you have any other ideas, I did see some comments talking about something about AB and child support and something about the Trump thing. I forgot. I honestly forgot to look at it, but I will, and I'll make sure I'll use that for my next video next week. I'll talk about the Trump thing in reference to Selena. But before I leave, I want to give my condolences to the YouTuber that recently passed away. I forgot her name. I'll probably have her name in the video, but she was 8 months pregnant. She's a very well-known YouTuber based in London. She was famous for doing dances. She's a dancer, and she was famous for, you know, doing dances with her boyfriend. And she, you know, while pregnant, and I guess she was doing DUI. I mean, not DUIs. DIYs. Is it DIYs? Or something like that. Something with arts and crafts. And she had passed away, and it was a recent video today saying that she had passed away from a massive heart attack, but they don't know. They have to do further examinations to figure out why she had it. So give my condolences, because it was not only her that passed away, but the unborn child. And I can't imagine how her family feels, and her especially her boyfriend feels, because he was probably, I'm sure, excited, you know, to meet his son, and possibly marry the girl. So that's scary, because to be honest, I thought about, you know, trying to have a child, and I don't even know if I want to now, because that is scary. Like, it's scary, and it's really it's just scary. And but yeah, so I give my condolences to them, and also prayers to Tamar Braxton, because I saw that she was hospitalized Thursday. She was found unconscious. I guess it was an attempt suicide. I don't know. That don't even sound like Tamar, but according to what I read on Instagram, that her fiance or boyfriend found her unconscious in the hotel room. But they said, I did read that she's stable but still unresponsive, but that was earlier today, so I don't know what changed. But prayers up to her. Hope she comes through. And yeah, so I will get back with you guys with another video. Peace.